Hey everyone, welcome to Seri. I'm your host, Lucy.
And I'm Emily. If you're new here, welcome. We're a production class covering this year's undergraduate research conference.
Joining us today, we have John Johnson, the Associate Director of the Undergraduate Research Conference. Thanks for joining us today, John.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you do for the Undergraduate Research Conference as Associate Director?
So it's one of several jobs that I have because all of us wear multiple hats on this campus. But what we do is basically help coordinate it. So I reach out to faculty, I help schedule the space, reach out to faculty to get the people in there, and basically set up the event, order the food, do all the stuff so that our students can come this once a year and show off kind of the research that they've been doing. And this is an event that's all about the students and what our students do. And it's pretty incredible because they do such interesting things.
I love that. That is a lot of hats to wear. Can you tell us what the overall mission of the conference is?
The mission of the conference is to give the students a professional research experience so that they actually understand what it means to be a researcher and to try and communicate your ideas to the general public.
Wow, that's so cool to hear. What kind of scheduled events can we see at the conference?
When you say the conference itself is primarily, there's a poster presentation, so it's like 3 hours of poster presentations with an award ceremony. But we also will have in a side room some people who are doing oral presentations and other stuff will be on the side as well.
Very cool. Who can we expect to see at the conference?
I don't know all the undergraduates. I literally just got the list of 104 posters that are being presented yesterday, so I haven't looked them up and down yet. But most of our faculty generally have students there that are working with them. So it ranges across the colleges. It's primarily students from the College of Arts and Science because they have a lot of different things there. There'll probably be someone from behavioral as well. Sometimes we have a few business students present as well, which is interesting. Education generally does their own conference, so they don't usually participate in ours.
So if I'm an undergraduate student and I want to get involved in the conference, how might I go about doing that?
So the first thing you want to do is find a mentor. Which is really what you need to do any sort of research is figure out what you want to do and who's doing something related there so they can help you. Because your faculty mentor will generally help you with your research methods, help you figure out everything you need to do in order to complete a research project. Some students are in the Honors College, and the Honors College, they do this as kind of part of the process. But others just do it because they're involved in research and their faculty members are research active, so they kind of just pull them into it, and kids get excited by what they find out.
Yeah, it's such a great opportunity. Can you tell us why the conference is so important and why should others want to participate?
I think it's important because research is important. People don't understand the value of research in our society and how much all this change and everything is driven by research and by basic research. So a lot of students may start off on one thing, and once they discover they like research, they can start them down a completely different career path than what they've been planning it before. So for some people, it could literally change their lives and change what they want to do with their lives. And there's a quote in a Sondheim song: "You don't really know what you want to do until you do it, and you see if you like it." So you got to try research before you understand if this is for you. It is a certain thing, and some people, they just get that research bug, and then they just stick with it the rest of their lives.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So what kind of influence do you want the conference to have on the students?
It depends on the students that are presenting. What I want them is to get better at communicating their research, because one of the problems we have with our actual research scientists and our people with PhDs who've been doing this a while is sometimes they don't communicate effectively what they do, and so people don't understand its value or its importance. Little thing like people think a lot of this research is just so esoteric and it doesn't matter and it doesn't influence their lives, but things like Usfsp came from a research study of an obscure lizard and their metabolism, which they weren't searching for it. It's just something they found when someone was studying this particular lizard. So you would think it has nothing to do with your life, but it's literally like these drugs have changed the world and changed a lot that's going on. And there's lots of different studies of all sorts of different things, from studying the fruit fly to studying worms and all these things that can lead to really important things that can change the world in ways that we had no idea it would. So it's why we need to be able to support research and communicate research effectively to others so they can understand there are larger impacts.
Yeah, and do you have any memorable moments or pieces of research that has stuck out to you?
Yeah, we had a project a couple years ago where they did some research on kind of veterans and veterans' use of transportation. And the group that did it, after they did their poster here, they went and presented it before the county. And the county literally changed policies to make all the bus travel free for all veterans, based upon the study of how it will be useful for them. So there's ways that even these posters can create impacts in the world.
Wow. On a similar note, finally, what's been the most impactful outcome you've seen coming from the conference, whether it's with students or with the program or within the school?
So I already used a veteran example. So I mean, for me, I don't know about. There's a lot of them that are just really interesting that let people just learn stuff. And when you go into that room, you don't know what you're going to learn or how it's going to change you or what you're going to do. So all these different studies, they're going in such interesting directions. I mean, there's stuff I learned on dialects and how people talk in different areas and what it says to. There was one on superheroes and comics and how they influence culture. I mean, they're just so all over the place and they're so interesting. So I don't know that there's any one. And I also don't know how many of those students have gone on to do I mean, I know some of them have gone on to their PhDs, but they're still, if you're at your PhD, it's going to be years before we'll see the impact of some of that, because once they're in their PhD, then they're going to do their research, and that's another 5 to 10 years before they're going to change the world. So who knows?
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, that's all we have for today. John, thank you so much for being here, and good luck with the conference this year.
Thank you so much.
Now, on to our host, Sadie, out on the street.
Welcome to Seri on the Street, Bug Edition. I'm Sadie on the Street, your host of Seri on the Street, Sadie Bug today. Today we're going to be asking students what they know about millipedes. Let's go. So imagine a pound of bugs, a pound. Yeah. How many millipedes do you think could fit into a pound? Just throw a number out there.
Around 230?
230, okay.
I'd say about like 120.
120?
180.
Oh, 180. On the dot. I got 180 written down right there. 180 American millipedes. That's insane. Okay, millipede expert over here.
How many legs does a millipede have? Oh god. It's not what you think. A lot of legs. How many are we talking? I don't know. 30 to 400. 30 to 400. How does she know?
What color is millipede poop? It's not what you think. It's probably something strange, like yellow. I wish. Purple. Isn't that crazy? Final question, would you rather fight one human-sized millipede or 1,000 millipede-sized humans?
One human-sized millipede.
How would you do that?
Go for the legs.
Ooh, just like stomp on them? That's pretty good.
Yup. I need to learn more bug facts.
You do. You know where you can learn more bug facts?
Where?
The Seri live stream, where we're gonna have millipedes. Check us out.
I will.
Boy, is this ladybug tired from flying all over the street. I'll see you guys next week with Seri on the Street. With Seri, Student Engagement, Research, and Innovation. Bye.
Thank you, Sadie on the street. I'm still Sadie, but now I'm in the studio. And today I have the greatest pleasure of speaking with the graduate teaching assistant from the Department of Integrative Biology, Ann Saul. Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. And our other guests, the millipedes. So, you are one of the many people studying and researching at USF St. Pete. Could you give us a brief overview on what your research is about?
Absolutely. So I'm studying one of Florida's critically imperiled millipede species. Their scientific name is Floridabolus penneri, but they're more commonly known as the Florida scrub millipede. and they are understudied. There's not much known about them, and so what I looked into for my master's research was a little bit more, trying to gather a little bit more information on their dietary preferences, behavior, whether or not they were in competition with another species of millipede that's found in the same region that they're found, and with the largest goal to try to get them to reproduce, because we don't know anything about their reproduction.
That's so interesting. So you're trying to figure out the reproduction, how
Yes.
how they do that.
Yeah.
That's great. And so there are plenty of different species of millipedes in Florida. What makes these different?
That's a great question. So it kind of goes back to their evolutionary history. So they're found in a very specific part of Florida. This is one of Florida's endemic species of millipede, where they're found on Lake Wills Ridge, one of the ridge systems. And way back when, millions of years ago, sand was slowly chipped away from the Appalachian Mountains, and it was brought to Florida through a series of rivers and streams. And then over geologic time, as sea levels rose and fell, that pushed the sand towards the center part of Florida, and that created a series of horizontal dune systems. And when sea levels were at their highest, Lake Wills Ridge, which is the ridge system that these millipedes are found on, was allowed to be isolated, and the species, plants and animals, were allowed to speciate. And so one of them is the Florida scrub millipede, and a good majority of the species that are found on the ridge system are endemic because of that. So that's what makes them special.
That is so cool. How did you come up with this research topic?
A little bit of help with my advisor. Prior to meeting her, I was a zookeeper, and one of the animals that I worked with was giant African millipedes. And when I met her, I told her that I was interested in them. I didn't know much about them, but I did know that they're kind of a black hole of information. There's a lot of stuff that we could learn about them. And we kind of got to talking, and kind of fell into it and became more interested in the species specifically as time went on.
Oh, I think he's biting me a little bit.
That's a good luck charm.
Okay, cool.
That means you smell like dead plants, maybe.
Oh, lovely. Do you remember the first time you held one?
Yeah, well, of this species, we weren't sure exactly.
Ow. What are you doing? Yes.
So we were doing field work, and we weren't really sure how to find them, because the person who was had done prior research on them, his name is Mark Darup. He was the entomologist at Archibald Biological Station. He gave us a couple of tricks, but we hadn't seen one yet, and so we were doing field work, and it was during the summer, which is the rainy season, and it was pouring down rain. And I remember we were kind of ready to give up for the day. We weren't sure if we would find them, and we were digging through the soil, and with one scoop, they kind of like popped out like candy from the ground, and I wasn't sure if it was the species, but then a couple of other people took a close look, and we were like, okay, I think this is the Florida scrub millipede. And it was an awesome experience, even though it was pouring down rain.
That's amazing. I would love to have that kind of experience. So what do millipedes do for the environment? Like, what's their role?
That's a great question. They play an incredible role in nutrient cycling. So the reason why I commented on dead plants earlier is most species are considered detritivores, which means that they consume decaying plant matter or organic matter. And so what happens is the millipedes, they'll come out at night and they'll forage on the decaying leaves that had fallen to the ground. And all that lovely stuff moves through their system, and their excrements help fertilize the living plants. And so they're really important for decomposition and nutrient cycling.
I mean, I am a vegetarian, so maybe he can tell that. So we were talking about where they live and how they came to be there. Have the millipedes been affected by habitat loss in Florida?
Oh, definitely. So not only are is that region of Florida.
No,
That's okay. They have a tough exoskeleton, and so they're pretty hardy. And you get to see a really cool defense mechanism. So they have a pretty soft underbelly, and so how they protect themselves is they'll coil to protect their underbelly. And once they feel like they're okay, which he's feeling like he's okay now, they'll uncoil and continue to move about their environment.
I'm sorry, buddy. Habitat loss.
Yes, habitat loss. So fast forward to pre-settlement in that region. Since pre-settlement, that area has lost upwards of 85 to 90% of its habitat.
Oh, wow.
Mostly due to us. We love to grow our oranges in that region. There's been a lot of housing developments, agricultural developments, and because of that, their habitat is heavily fragmented. And these millipedes and a lot of the other species that are found in those communities are having to live in pockets of remnant scrub and sandhill communities. And so, yeah, they've definitely faced a lot of effect from humans.
Directly from human activity.
Yeah.
Is there anything we can do as students or, the everyday person to help out the millipedes?
Yeah, the biggest thing, especially with this species, is just becoming educated. We are seeing that this species is understudied, and there are 2 other members of the species of millipede in the same genus that are also facing similar habitat loss, and they're also understudied. So I think one of the best ways to help preserve their populations is to understand what they need, and to do that is to become a little bit more educated about them.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you are getting to educate all of us today. Finally, is there any misconception about millipedes that you'd like to squash right now?
So one really common misconception is that millipede means 1,000 foot. And most millipedes, actually, as we know of now, all but one species doesn't have 1,000 feet. Most species have anywhere between 300 to 500 legs, and there's only one species that we know of. Its scientific name is Usfsp Persephone. Usfsp meaning true millipede, Persephone after Persephone, because they were found really deep underground. And they have just over 1,300 legs, but that's the only one that we know of. But
How long are they?
Pretty long.
I'd imagine. Oh my gosh.
It's okay. They're pretty long. If you look at photos of them, they kind of look like a parasite, but there's a researcher who was able to do the genetics and found out that it was a millipede and learned a little bit more about them, which is pretty cool.
That is so cool. Well, thank you for coming on today and teaching us about these wonderful little creatures.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And them. And them, of course. Yes. Well, thank you guys.
Like a 1.4, right? That's a bare hole, and then for the larger aperture, and then we got a smaller little one like F16. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? No. All right. Make sure you do your assignments and quizzes. Have a nice day.
Jasmine, wait! You were supposed to help me study. What? There's not enough time. You promised me you would help me study today.
I have to get to an undergraduate research conference. I gotta go.
Okay,
sorry.
you also gotta help me study.
Well, I gotta get to the conference.
Okay, well,
Okay.
we're gonna go study.
Okay. Fine. Let's do it. Let's go. Lucy, you've been on your phone a majority of the time that we've been studying. Okay? You would be a rocket scientist by now, just so you know. My gosh. Okay, you know what? I have to be at the student center soon.
Why?
The undergraduate research conference.
What's that?
Well, it's really important, and I have something to present, so.
Okay. Well, bye. there something wrong with the knob?
I don't know.
You want me to try?
Sure.
I think we've been here for too long.
I can't tell the coordinators I can't make it.
Just tell them you're sick.
On the last hour before it begins? I don't think so.
Why are you so stressed about going anyway?
Because the undergraduate research conference is the only chance I have to present everything that I've been working so hard on since the beginning of this semester. It's gonna help me in my future.
So, what is the undergraduate research conference anyway?
It is the conference of all conferences. I mean, every researcher comes, every researcher presents their findings, things that haven't even been covered before. I mean, it's our future. It's my future. So.
Sounds pretty important.
Yeah, it is. I mean, anyway, I think if you studied a little harder, you would have been a rocket scientist by now, honestly.
Yeah, and if you helped me study, we wouldn't even be here.
Okay.
Wait, no, it's a...
Have you seen my hat?
That's all for today's episode of Seri. We'll see you in the next one.
Make sure to subscribe and follow for more.
Go Bulls!